It sounds like a construction site and looks like one too.
That's a framing drawing for the floor layout.
But when you take a wider view,
We actually start the floor framing right here on this jig table.
it is hardly the new home development you might expect.
So the floor that we're building right here is going to be turned, moved here, and then ultimately it's going to go through the full production assembly and out the door on that end.
Not an auto plant in Detroit, but rather a family-owned factory in western Nebraska, pumping out 16 new homes at a time. Rather than bumpers and engines, it's walls and kitchens being installed on this assembly line.
We're a modular factory. We build things to the International Residential Code.
The Fillingham family has been building modular homes for decades.
Basically, my grandfather started when he was a young man in the industry.
And Nip's grandpa is still here.
Been involved with this business for 53 years now.
Nip's brother, Tuck, works here too, and their dad, Doug.
Could not be more fortunate.
What makes their story newsworthy now is that of the 16 modular homes currently on the assembly line here at Family Built Homes,
And everything's built in this facility, under this roof, in a very procedural manner.
at least 3 are for Marshall fire survivors in Superior and Louisville, and 2 are going to East Troublesome fire survivors in Grand County.
It feels good to be able to do something like that for those folks who lost so much.
No one asked for that. It disrupted everything. So the sooner that you can get things back to normal, that's just better for everyone. If it's in a mountain community where there's a small window from spring to fall, we can be building this off-site while they're prepping foundation site work on-site.
These homes are built in 5 to 8 weeks rather than the 9 to 12 months it takes to complete a traditional home.
Probably the biggest saving we can offer is time.
And not only is the assembly quick, but it's so efficient, these homes sell for about half the price of a traditional stick build.
You come in with whatever you want and we'll make it happen. We'll work with Nip and Tuck and everyone here.
Trevor Sage and his family at Countryland and Homes in Fort Collins have been working with the Fillingham family for years, selling Fillingham houses and shipping them too.
I'll find the route, get it approved through the state.
Everything that we build goes through the Colorado Division of Housing.
If we're going to somewhere like Denver, I'll have a half down from this location, about 5.5 hours, depending on the time of the year.
Sage just delivered the first of several modular builds to the Marshall Fire Burn Zone at the end of March.
I'm watching them set half of the house, my parents' house.
To fire survivors Della and Keith Gibson.
We've been waiting for it for how long?
We transport them, that's my side of the business.
Yeah, it was shipped from Nebraska to Fort Collins.
And despite some common misconceptions,
It's a good home.
these are not cookie cutter homes.
They're not all the same. Rarely do we build something that's the same as the other one. Everything we do is kind of a one-off, unique.
Getting rid of the preconceived notion of a modular or manufactured home from what it was in the 70s and 80s compared to nowadays.
We have to build them to be able to travel and go down the road and that. So quite frankly, we do have to add to the construction of the house to make it strong enough to do that.
Solid surface counters, real hardwood, really high-end home, this is where you want to go.
They start around $300,000 and up. Some of the customizations, like this one in Edwards, Colorado, make them truly unique.
I would put these up against any modular home built in the United States.
Buying a house is probably the largest investment most any of them are going to make. We want to make sure that those folks are as happy as they can be with that investment.
A modular home factory, a dedicated workforce, and a family operation built to last.
Dad wouldn't know what to do if he wasn't hanging around us. And
Yeah, they wouldn't know what to do if I wasn't there.
In Gering, Nebraska, Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.